I discover the leadership secrets right now that will help you build a culture of resilience and help your team reach new heights. My name is Tyler Devereaux. I am the CEO and founder of two big companies, an education company and an investment company. And listen, every company, every business has headwinds. When those headwinds hit, whether it's an individual or your business, you need to be able to lead through those headwinds to create resilience and help your people level up. And I have been fortunate enough to lead hundreds and hundreds of people within my organization and a whole bunch more within my education company that we train and teach. And today, right now, I'm going to show you a simple formula to help you lead, inspire, and grow people. Let's go. So Tony Robbins calls this the three molders of meaning, also known as the triad. But today I'm going to show you what that is, but also how to use it within your business world, but also in your own personal life. You can literally use this with yourself, with others, with team members, with your wife, your kids, all of it. And it's powerful. Now, the three molders of meaning are this. You have your state, okay? And your state is, well, your state of being, right? Not just the state you live in, but the state of being that you live in every single day. But you also have situational experiences, okay? It all comes down to these three things. And when we shift these three things as individuals, and we understand how to do it here, because the first level of leadership is to lead yourself. So when you understand how to implement these things for yourself, you'll be able to help others implement those things for them. And that continues to scale. So number one is your physiology. Your physiology, literally your physical body, how you move and how your physical body is. So for example, if you are going to lead yourself or others in a state like this, or you're droopy, or you're frowning, well, that's not a very good state. So what you need to do is you need to make a radical change to your physical state. So for example, when I go to record this video as an example, I will literally stand up, jump, hit, get myself into a physical peak state. And it is absolutely baffling how different you record something and then you turn into a peak state, change into a peak state, you change your physiology, and then you record that same thing. The quality is massively different. It's the same thing with your leadership. When you go into meeting after meeting after meeting, your physiology usually gets a little bit effed up, and you need to change it. And it's simple things that you can do to change your physiology. But once again, this isn't just for leadership. This is for you, and it's in every experience of your life. For example, we've started to eat pretty healthy at our home, and eating pretty healthy means we eat a lot of salad. 70% of our meal is salads. And our kids hate salads. And so Paxton, as we introduce this salad for dinner, he doesn't want salad, and I get it, because neither do I. But we know that salad is going to make us healthy and strong, and so we eat salad. But Paxton, down in his seat, he's just so angry. His eyes are barely open, and he's pissed. And so, listen, we need him to eat a salad. He needs to eat a salad. And so first thing we need to do is, step one that I already taught you, change your physiology. And so we say, Paxton, change your physiology. And our kids know this because we talk about it at home all the time, which is to literally just change your physical state. Sit up, smile. Do you know that it's impossible, actually? It's literally impossible to be in a bad mood if you smile. You hold a smile. It can't be like you have to hold that smile, and it is impossible, literally, chemically impossible for you to stay in a negative state. That's because you've changed your physiology. And we start there because it's the easiest one to change, okay? So change your physiology. And I mentioned like going into a meeting or going into, recording this video or really going into anything that you're about to do. You should really look and pay attention to your physical state, your physiology. All right, then from there, your number two focus is the language we use. Man, language is so powerful. In fact, it is so powerful that you will see people doing something and they will tell you that they're doing something different and you'll believe them. You'll see somebody literally doing something that you know they shouldn't do. They will tell you that they're not doing it and use language that is so powerful that you as a leader believe them, even though you see that their actions don't match up. You'll do the same thing for yourself. You'll see yourself doing something that you know you shouldn't do, but your language changes it. Like, I know I shouldn't eat this, but, and then you continue to use language tell you or to convince yourself it's why you should eat it or why you should do the thing. Language is so powerful. And it's so powerful with your team, okay? So with Paxton, the example that I gave there, he was saying, I hate salad, I don't like salad, I don't want to eat this salad, it's gross, blah, blah, blah. Now, it's not going to work if we tell him to just say, I love salad, okay? Because he's going to know that's bullshit, he doesn't love it. But we can change the language to be like, man, salad makes me strong. Salad makes me healthy. Salad is going to help me be healthy so I can run fast, right? We change the language to go towards the outcome that we want. Well, it's the same thing with your team, okay? And I'll give you an example of this. I'm working with my sales team. And my sales team they're telling me, I'm on the phone with them, and they're telling me that I can't do this, or we've done everything we can, or man, the challenge is, or the problem is. Just think about that language. I can't. It's so hard. The challenge is. They're telling me all the things. And listen, problems, let's just go this route for a minute. Problems are the most addicting drug in the world. And the reason is because problems give you a reason why your life isn't where you want it to be. When you have problems, that gives you a reason as to why your life isn't the way that you want it to be. And it's the same thing for your team members. When they have problems, that gives them a reason as to why their targets aren't being met, why their things aren't getting done, because they have problems. Problems are a way of life. There's what's called a 95-5 principle. And the 95-5 principle will actually come into play in number 3, which is what we focus on. Most people put 95% of their focus on problem. That needs to be reversed. It needs to be 5% on the problem and 95% on the solution. Once again, problems give you a reason as to why your life isn't the way it needs to be. So you need to change the language. You need to help your team change the language. So they may tell me, I don't know how to do it. And one of my favorite response backs, and once again, I've learned this from Tony Robbins. Like Tony Robbins teaches this in great detail, and now I'm applying it to you within your businesses. But one of my favorite things that I've learned from him is when a team member tells me, hey, I don't know how. Or my kids tell me, I don't know. Well, I'll say, well, okay. Well, if you did know, what would it be? Cool, but if you did know, what do you think? I was teaching a church lesson at Sunday school last week, and I was asking these kids what they're most excited for 2025. And, kids, these are 12-year-old, 11-year-old kids. Some of them immediately know exactly what they want. Some of them are just gonna play like, I don't know. I'm not excited for anything, or I don't know what I'm excited for. And one of the little kids was like, I don't know what I'm excited for. I said, well, cool, but if you did know, what would you say? Well, but I don't know. Well, no, I know you don't know, but if you did know, what would you say? And then you know what's so powerful and what's so beautiful about that conversation? All of a sudden the kid pauses. Number one, because he realized that I wasn't gonna give in to a bullshit excuse of I don't know. He knew. You wanna know why he knew? Because of my physiology. Told it every story they needed to know that I was absolutely rock solid in I know you know, and I know you know, but you say you don't know, but if you did know. And he pauses and he says, I want to learn to read better. It was so genuine, and it was so sincere, and it was so pure. And I bring that example up because, my friends, you have team members who have those same experiences where they know what they need help with, but they may say, I don't know, because they're embarrassed to say what they need help with. They're embarrassed to say what they're struggling with. They're embarrassed to say what their stumbling block is. And your job is to have a strong physiology, number one. Let them know that you're confident in your ability to get them through it. And you have to help them have language that is so powerful. See, it's one thing to tell, it's so much different when they tell you. So their language back to you. And you have to be resilient in making sure that you're getting that out of them so that you can help them achieve the targets that you know that they can achieve and hit. And then number 3 is your focus. And this completes the triad. So number 1, your physiology. Number 2, your language, the words we use. Once again, remember, words are so powerful. What words are you using? What words are your team members using? Are they uplifting, empowering towards the things that we want, or are they giving you excuses as to why you don't have that thing that you want? And then number 3 is your focus. What are you focusing on? Because what you focus on, not only do you feel, you find. What you focus on, you find. For example, my sales team that I told you I was working with. This is any sales team in any industry that you're ever in. If they're not selling, they're going to tell you why they're not selling, and it's usually the leads, it is the objections, because it's really what they're focusing on, and so what they focus on, they find. If you focus on the objection, if your team member is focusing on the objection, if your team member is focusing on, man, it is tough because, think about that narrative that I said earlier, it's tough because, well, the objection is, the problem is, you're focusing by default on the negative component of, the problem, which is by default the negative. But if you can do the 95-5 principle and shift your focus from the problem to the solution, and once again, you as a leader to help your team shift their focus from their problem to the solutions, 95 on the solutions, you'll find them. So now how do we do that? Okay, well, we shift ourselves. So instead of telling me all the things that you have done, let's talk about what you haven't done. David Goggins, a lot of you know David Goggins. He's an absolute beast, and he spoke at our stage on Peak Partnership in 2024. And I'll never forget this interaction that he had with Bree. Bree, if you're watching this, I love you. She's an amazing person. And she had been telling David Goggins all the things that she had been doing. And David said, that's awesome, that's great. And then he paused and he said, okay, that's awesome. Now what haven't you done? And Bree's like, whew. Well, I haven't done, and she starts listing those things out. And it was so powerful to see that transformation shift in Bree as David Goggins led her to find the solutions that she already had within her. But she had to change her focus. Instead of focusing on all these things that I've done without the result, Well, if we're focused on the result and we're truly focused on the result, then we need to be focusing on what else could we do to get the result? What else can we do to get the result? What haven't you done? What haven't you tried? What could we try? What could we do? See, it's not I can't, it's how can I. It's not this objection, it's what's the solution to their objection. See, it's this objection, sure, but what are they wanting? What are they needing? We get what we want by helping other people get what they need. Same thing with your team members. Your team members, you want production out of your team members. Through tough times, good times, all times, you want production. How do you get that? You help them shift their state. You help them get into physiology, into better physical state. You help them have better language, narrative, internal and external. And then you help them change their focus. Now, last bit that I'll talk about is how you use that when you're meeting with and leading and guiding your team. Yeah, I said in the very beginning, the secrets to helping build a resilient team, a culture of resilient team members that produce results. Well, how you do that is you have to lead and you have to correct, you have to provide feedback, but you have to do that in a way that's actually going to get through to them. So here's what you need to do. And here's the secret, is using that triad to lead your team. So first, as you're meeting with your team member, what's their physiology look like? Now that you've taken care of yours, once again, leadership level number 1 is to lead yourself. Leadership level number 2 is to lead one other person. If you're listening to this about leadership in a business, you probably lead more than one person. But first, you've done this with yourself. Now the second thing is you're going to see what their physiology looks like. They're frowning, they're frustrated, they're slumping down. You need to help them change their physiology. That could be by simply getting it out of the office and going for a walk. Hey, you know what, man? As we do this meeting, let's just go for a walk. Let's go for a walk instead. You know that some of the best business conversations that I've ever had have been on a walk. And if you don't know this, some of the biggest challenges in U.S. history between presidents and countries have been solved by those two getting out of the office and going for a walk. Go for a walk around the office, outside, wherever, because guess what that naturally does? Changes their physiology. Then you need to also be paying attention to what kind of language they're using. For example, do they feel depressed or are they depressed? Meaning, are they saying, I am depressed? Because that's a lot different than I feel depressed. Or are they saying, I am not good at this? Or are they saying, I have struggled with this? See, the I am statement is a big deal. So are they depressed or are they just feeling depressed? If they're saying that they are depressed, well, now you need to make sure that you change their state to help them change their language and address it. Sometimes you'll hear themselves ask themselves a question like, why can't I? That's the wrong question. By the way, this also applies to way more than just work. Why can't I get this result? Why can't I figure this out? Why can't I find somebody who loves me? Why can't I lose weight? Don't ask yourself that question. You'll find all sorts of reasons why you're fucked up and you can't do it. Don't ask those questions. Ask a better question. Once again, all of this, so much of this comes down to asking better questions. The quality of your question will be the quality of your answer, and the quality of the answer is the quality of the result that you're looking for. So ask better questions. Don't ask, why can't I figure this out? Just literally rephrase it to, how can I figure this out? How can I find this, someone who loves me? How can I become this person? How can I get this result? Man, when we say that we can't, or we look for reasons, we focus on those things, we'll find them once again. When we focus on those things, we'll find them. So what is their language like, right? Are they saying, once again, these I am statements? Are they asking questions that are inevitably going to show them all the reasons why they can't do a certain thing? If so, you need to help them use better language. And then number 3, with their focus. What are they focusing on as you're giving them this feedback? See, how you deliver the feedback is very, very powerful and important. If you're focusing on all the things that they're not good at, they're going to focus on all the things they're not good at. You tell them the things that they're doing great at. You tell them the things that they can improve on, and then you sandwich it again with the things that they're doing great at. Well, listen, a mistake that I've made, let's just go to the sales example. The mistake that I've made with this is we would listen to sales calls, or we would listen to sales conversations, and I would immediately go into all the things that they could do different. Well, imagine where that puts their focus. Immediately that puts their focus on and their language and their state naturally into, a shitty one. So now what we do is we listen to the sales conversation, we listen to the role play, we listen to it, and then we all provide all things that they did great first, things they did great, and then listen. Then what we do is we provide that individual opportunity to tell us what they could do different. Hey, what could you do different? Instead of us just lambasting them, let's see what they think they could do different after listening to their call, after listening to their conversation, because I promise you they have a list of them. Now they're the ones speaking out. Once again, remember the language. You telling them that you need to do this versus them saying I need to do this, massive difference. So how do you get them to do that? You ask better questions. You ask better questions, you'll get better results. So how do you build a team, a culture of resilient team members? You first lead yourself through the triad. You go through your physiology. You become the master of your physical state. You become the master of the language that you use. You become the master of what you focus on, and then you help them do the exact same thing. And there is very few things that you will do as a leader that will be more valuable and beneficial than to help your team members master their state. Once again, their physiology, their language, and their focus. My friends, I hope that you found some value from today's video. And if you did find some value from today's video, well then share this thing with somebody else who it may benefit from. Once again, that's how we get more people to this channel to provide even more value to. And if you like the content, the topic that we talked about, leadership and business, let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know what else you would like to know about leadership, business, multifamily, whatever, physiology, how I can be in such a peak physical state, okay? It is, you gotta moisturize. That's number one, but that's a teaser for the next video. Listen, thank you so much for tuning in. Share this with somebody else. And live always with aloha. Peace.